So, criticism. When exactly did it stop being constructive? How's your time zone going, everyone? This video is going to be a bit different from my previous content, but hey, what's wrong with that? Ever see a dumb argument over something that someone really shouldn't be getting upset about? Maybe a small aspect of a character's writing so small that it's practically meaningless to bring up? Maybe someone's making fun of a game's mechanics, from having a block button to having simpler controls, or just getting mad at a movie because its gay main character's parents weren't homophobic towards them, or because it didn't reference 9/11? I'm not kidding. It goes from being constructive criticism to just criticism, and then just downright insults. Imagine you just watched a movie or just played a game, and the second you check YouTube, the commentary division is just flooded with hate over something completely trivial. Like literally calling a trans character being trans a ham-fisted attempt at representing trans people. Like, how do you fuck up that bad at having an opinion on something? Like, boo-hoo, why is this character black? Like, what does that have to do with the writing? What is wrong with you? Like, no, I get it, you're racist, that's common, but like, can we talk about the story, please? I swear, y'all KRM fans have been getting away with this for too damn long. Or something like, why is there no character development in SpongeBob? Like, dog, can we have fun? Can we like things, please? Damn. So, this video's just gonna be me talking about a bit of a problem, so I hope you enjoy. At certain times, I feel like we're too over-analytical for no reason other than the sake of feeling smarter. This is because people think that overanalyzing things makes you smart, when in reality, it just makes you a hyperfixated psychopath. Then they start to believe that whatever they watch is for intellectuals and that anything else is dumb and immature. This is pretty common for gamers that award themselves the title of real gamer as a way to gatekeep others who don't play like them, despite there being no correct way to play a game. It's a really annoying superiority complex that people get when they start assuming this makes them smarter and better than everyone else, like in the mind of an average Rick and Morty fan, mostly the louder majority, the one that we make fun of, believing that anyone who doesn't watch is either stupid, ignorant, or both, being incapable of comprehending such highbrow and intelligent comedy that Rick and Morty has to offer. After watching a few episodes of the show, I couldn't really find myself laughing. I don't know, none of the jokes exactly hit me. I definitely got them, they weren't complicated in any way, shape, or form. They just didn't feel funny. I enjoy Rick as a character. He's a really good example of a person with low empathy, which isn't always represented well in media, usually being characterized by someone who's just mean rather than someone who just can't bring themselves to care as much as the average person. As someone who struggles with empathy myself, I need some of that representation. I already got black characters, which is great and all, but I need more scientists, please and thank you. I just don't find the show to be interesting in its entirety, nor entertaining, but I can respect that the show has many aspects of good writing that I don't feel like elaborating on because I don't like arguing. This is also common in other communities like the FGC, a community that I'm obviously a part of. Game mechanics are a big thing in games, just being games, especially fighting games. I'll use one of my favorite examples because I hear it all the time, and it's typically the sole reason people don't play these games. The block button. Typically in fighting games, you have to hold in the opposite direction that your opponent is to block. They're on the right, you're on the left. This is what makes cross-ups and high-lows so valuable. Having a block button takes away the aspects of cross-ups, but the people that complain about that don't even lab cross-up mix. Y'all just like to say things are bad. But is this bad game design? No, and NetherRealm players aren't dumber people for playing those kinds of games. And some people just don't seem to understand that you yourself don't have to like a game for it to be good, nor does your distaste alone put them out of business. What some people need to learn is that they're not better than others for doing things in a certain way. This is like the cold shower and hot shower debate. Seriously, who cares? I myself find both to be perfectly fine ways to bathe, but some people act as if taking cold showers lead to some spiritual uplifting that just makes you Obi-Wan Kenobi your way up to the moral high ground when realistically you're just using cold water. Beyond things like superiority complexes and self-proclaimed moral high grounds, there are still things that people say that just make me think, damn, I just don't like anything. And you don't want people to either. Like, of course, it's most likely just people starting shit just to start shit as a way to distract themselves from the rent due by the first of each month. The issue is that there's so many little things to criticize that y'all just can't get bored. And when you do get bored, your solution is to send a death threat or trying to go on a block by the user speed run. Seriously, being blocked isn't a trophy, it's a badge of dishonor. Literally a people don't like me sign, taped to the back of your shirt at all times. As in, no one wants to talk to you. Some people forget that criticism doesn't actually refer to pointing out things I don't like, or breaking things down to make people feel bad for liking it. That's not critique, that's just being rude. Like, the real reason is obviously just boredom. Like, the hunt never ends until those people have found a new distraction. Some distractions being complaining that a Pixar movie about a Chinese-Canadian teenage girl isn't relatable for a 34-year-old white man, or Or the same people who praise anime acting like the Western animation they grew up with is dog shit that's killing the animation department as a whole, despite its blatant inspirations from anime. But you know, bean mouth, bean face, every character is squishy and doesn't directly reference anime at every chance it gets, so it's a bad art style. Even the good old "this character upsets me so the show is bad" complaint, even though that's how you're supposed to feel, that's good writing. Or the "hey, this character is Mary Sue-ish, so this show sucks," when people forget how rare Mary Sue protags actually are. This is because Mary Sues are typically written as siblings of the main character, hated by the audience until they reveal their big flaw, redeeming everything about their character. Olga Pataki is probably one of the best written family prodigy characters in fiction, and I will stand by it. One well-written character that I would consider to be Mary Sue-ish would probably be Jenny Wakeman from My Life as a Teenage Robot. She's perfect in the sense of she's a robot, thus she's built to do everything, but she's imperfect in the sense of she's a robot, not a human, and she struggles to live a human life. Writing-wise, this alone sets up for a lot of really good narratives and lessons for her and the audience themselves. She's a robot, but she's also a teenage girl. That's good writing. I personally would find it interesting to just watch a character be good at everything, just to see if it could be written entertainingly. Granted, it hasn't exactly ever happened, but you know, you know. I don't know either. Marvel's attempt at writing Captain Marvel in her movie was weird because she was by definition a Mary Sue, but they couldn't seem to make her interesting, which was a big problem. But I do believe in the future they can find a way to make it work. Anyways, it gets worse, like making fun of a PSA for teaching kids to not be racist. Because if you get enough people to laugh at something, then the actual message just kind of ceases to exist. Like seriously. What do y'all want? Back to fighting game players, complaining about mechanics being simplified or inputs being easier to do. Like, if you like to struggle, you can play the older games. We're going to have fun without having to make a joke about how uncomfortable the game is as a form of entertainment, rather than just playing the game. For example, macros. I personally don't use them because they're not comfortable. For me. You hear that? You see that? For me. But I 100% understand if someone would like to. There's no need to justify making changes to make your experience more comfortable. If you yourself would like to play the game in a more difficult fashion, then go ahead, but we're already struggling and we'd like to struggle less. Now, of course, I can actually just get into the psychology behind the deep-rooted mentality that is struggles make you better than other people being projected into everyday life, but I'm just going to state that people are more inclined to do difficult tasks over easy tasks just to prove and remind themselves that they can do it. Like, if you don't like frame links, you can still play Street Fighter 4. If you don't like stylish mode, you can still play Blaze Blue. But don't act like these aspects of the game make them bad, because it's not your cup of, gamer subs or G Fuel. Because I know for a fact y'all angry ass motherfuckers do not drink tea. Issue is, some people are just too opinionated and they just forget that they didn't make the thing that they're complaining about. Like, no one wants to like things anymore. The entire point of criticism is to make it better, not to vent your frustration on the creator. Another issue is... Man, this sucks. Remember High Guardian Spice? I made sure to let everything die down and let everyone shut up before I watched it. All in all, it's mid. That's it. It's just mid. I can't excuse poor animation, but this time I can because of the 2 pennies and belly button lint budget they were given to make an animated series. It doesn't take a multi-million-dollar animation studio to make something that people like you can't, but it does take money to make it look pretty. People made fun of the use of PNGs for objects when it's usually objects that stay still and aren't the focus of the scene itself. I didn't exactly find the art style to be the most charming, but I definitely found it to be a fine-looking style. I can 100% imagine myself finishing a show with that art style. I do really like this concept of keeping rooms encapsulated in a ball at which you can just access at any time. It's similar to Dragon Ball's house capsule, but arguably easier to use, considering you can just put it back whenever you please. I'm also just a sucker for magic. This show actually does a thing right that I've seen so many others do wrong. It has its anime inspiration, obviously, but it doesn't prioritize anime-like scenes over other animated scenes. In others, you can kind of tell that they tried to make it look as anime as possible without learning beforehand, and it shows. But this show played it safe and it worked, in my opinion. As a matter of fact, the main difference between Ruby and High Guardian Spice is that one was accused of trying to be an anime, while one actually was. Not only is High Guardian Spice not an anime, but it never presented itself as one, nor is it trying to be. It just happens to be on Crunchyroll, and does a good job at paying homage to the anime that inspired it. I do feel like some of the characters aren't exactly the most interesting, and almost all the jokes follow the same formula. And I also feel like some of the big scenes are a bit too on the nose, but maybe maybe they should be considering it's a big scene. Everything about this show isn't exactly for me, and that's okay, but it does have some ingredients to make a great show, and possibly a show that I'd like even more if it did a few things better. This is just how I felt watching. Now, why did I just give a short review on High Guardian Spice in the middle of the video? You're probably thinking I'm missing something. Well, I am. I haven't sent death threats to the creators for having gay characters in it or any other arbitrary reason. Seriously, what is wrong with people that do this? Like, what brings you to harassing the creators? If you actually want to critique, then do it, but straight up insulting the creators is gonna do nothing but get you blocked, and y'all act like triumphant. What? They don't want to talk to you anymore. Your words are going nowhere. You just failed. Do you understand that? I really don't get it. My point is, criticism nowadays has become way more opinionated. It's turned into just more reasons to belittle and excuses to gatekeep, and just another way to project hate onto another person rather than giving advice on how to make something better. It's really unhealthy the way people either make others feel like shit or act like their word is the word of animation and entertainment itself and call it criticism. That's just not how it works. It unironically conditions people in so many weird ways. I'm so glad that I've never fallen into the mentality that I've suddenly become too mature for new cartoons and that I'm obligated to watch anime, making anything that isn't anime or an adult live-action series where every character is fucking depressed to be an awful cringe series that's made for the haha blue-haired girls. Except for when I watch it, then it's actually a good show that's ahead of its time and secretly for adults. I'm just glad and thankful that I never ended up to be that kind of person. Steven Universe just didn't have that effect on me. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. Anyways, I hope this video wasn't too weird to have on the channel. It's not exactly a shift into a different direction. I just want to have a variety of content. I just want to do a bunch of different things stemming from video games to TV shows and movies. Not drama. Not drama. I was kind of reluctant to start because I didn't think anyone would listen, but if you're here now, like and subscribe, peep the Twitter, join the Discord, all that good shit. And don't forget, no matter what those critics say, you're allowed to enjoy things. Have fun. Bye.